Welcome back to my final recap from Krigero Chess. I just played my round 9 game against international master Marcel Efroimski, and we've actually played before about a year ago in Gibraltar, and I did a recap video of that game, which I will link below. She beat me in that game, so this is my chance to get revenge. Leading up to this game, I did a bit of preparation, and I knew she plays the Sicilian. So I opted for 1e4, and I was really excited to go into kind of a tricky offbeat line that I actually prepared a year ago in Gibraltar that I didn't get a chance to play, starting with knight f3, d6, and then knight to c3. And after knight f6, white doesn't go for an open Sicilian with a traditional d4, but rather goes for e5. And I was excited to play this because I've been preparing this for a while now, but never played this in a tournament. So I thought this would be a nice surprise weapon. And before the game, I saw that she's played this position before, and in none of those games did black play the right continuation. Now, I made a very embarrassing mistake regarding my whole preparation, which I'll explain in just a moment. But let me show the next few moves. After takes, she plays a6, and I play pawn to g3. And before I show what she played in the game, I just want to share like a few of the really tricky and trappy possibilities. And there's a move here for black which looks very natural, queen c7. And I'm realizing I should probably go on a tangent to explain like the whole backstory of how I discovered this opening. Because about a year and a half ago, I went to Vegas and met up with a few chess friends. And one of my friends, who's a FIDE master, was telling me the story about how he beat Naroditsky in one of Naroditsky's speedrun videos. And my friend, his rating is like 2300, was playing on a Smurf account. And his account rating was like 1200, and he played this opening against Naroditsky. Naroditsky played queen c7, and then my friend unleashed a really cool sequence of moves, starting with d4, takes, knight c6, takes, and then rather than defending the rook, bishop g5 was played, Naroditsky took on h1, and after queenside castling, white is completely winning here. There's threats of this, and black is toast. So I was excited to hopefully get a similar line in the game just now. The only issue was Marcel was very well prepared for this line, and she very quickly played the move queen to d6 here. Now, I only realized this after the game because we chatted a little bit, but I told her after the game that I found 10 games of hers in this line, and she's never played queen d6 before, so I was wondering if she prepared this before the game, and she told me she's never had this line with the black pieces, but she's played it a lot with the white pieces. And it turns out I prepared this whole line based off her white games, not against her black games. And let me just share my ChessBase window, because this is the program I use to prepare. And basically what I did, I found a database of over 700 of her games, and I just filtered to see all her games from this position. And as we see, I found 10 of them, 9 of them featuring e5. But what I failed to do was filter out her white games. So all of these games we see on this sidebar, she had the white pieces. And yeah, all my preparation was scuffed because clearly if she plays this as white, she knows what should be the best line for black. So it's an embarrassing bit of failed opening preparation. And I don't know what happened. I don't think I've made this mistake before, but if I had to make an excuse, this round did start an hour earlier at 9 a.m. rather than 10 p.m. So maybe the extra hour of sleep could have really helped me. So anyway, we got to this position. I was aware that queen d6 was the best move, and I did check this before the game. I mean, this line, if black knows it, then white has really no advantage. But at least it's still playable. And the best move here, I checked the stockfish beforehand, was knight f3. And then we went into a position where white has a little bit less space, especially after pawn e5. But white also has kind of a very stable setup, essentially a King's Indian attack type setup, but without the e4 pawn. So we continue from here, d3, bishop e7, castle, castle, and I play rook e1. So a lot of these moves, very natural. Then she plays pawn h6, which I think is a very natural move. Generally, this move is played before bishop e6 because it prevents knight to g5. So I go ahead here and play bishop to e3, just completing development, and then she plays bishop e6. So in this moment, I realize there's not much to do for white because I have less space, and I came to the conclusion that my best approach would be to trade and simplify a little bit. So I played knight to e4, and then she took, I took, kind of a flurry of trades, queen takes d1, rook takes d1. I was actually expecting queen c7 here, but then the play is pretty simple, just c3, queen c2, knight d2. I think the position is still very solid, but solid for both players. It would be a fight from here. But in the game, queens were traded, and then rooks were traded, and then I play c3. And at this point, I was feeling very solid, and I felt like, yeah, the position should be very close to equal. Then she played a5, which was a slight surprise, because I thought the more natural approach would be either b5 or just patient play with pawn f6. But after a5, I decided to play bishop f1 and offer a draw, simply because I didn't think there was much chance to play for a win here, and I did have a slight time advantage as well, as we can see from the timestamps. And she thought for a little bit and accepted the draw. And I'm happy to have not lost this game, given my whole opening preparation was just really scuffed. And it's disappointing to mess up the preparation in such a way, because I was really saving this this bit of opening prep for so long. And I played it probably against the worst possible opponent who knows this line as white. But I think overall it was probably a very solid game. I haven't had a chance to check it with the engine, at least the middle game. It's possible I was a little bit worse out of the opening if we go back even further, but I think it was pretty much equal throughout. Okay, engine slightly prefers bishop g5. Maybe I should have considered. Oh, black is slightly better after bishop g4. I was going to play h3. Ah, this is interesting, to play bishop e6 and then queen d7 and get tempo on the pawn. Yeah, so I could have been a little bit worse. But then after the trades, yeah, queen c7 was probably a better approach for black. But then it very quickly, I think, just was equal. Oh, white's slightly better after bishop f1. I really didn't see much of an advantage, though. Like b6, and it just seems like we're both really solid. Okay, maybe I have the b5 square, but b6 and f6. It should really be close to equal. So anyway, that's the tournament. I finished with 5.5 out of 9. I'm not sure how it will affect my rating. I'm pretty sure I've performed almost exactly as my 2356 FIDE rating. And overall, I feel like I had a lot of fun games. I know my last couple of games maybe weren't the most exciting, ending in pretty peaceful draws, but also had some crazy ones. I do appreciate all the positive feedback in the YouTube comments and elsewhere. It was just such a pleasure playing this event. The conditions were amazing. The hotel was one of the nicest I've stayed in for a chess tournament. Maybe I'll have to share some behind the scenes of my room and the food and the view. My hotel room is actually like a whole apartment. So maybe if I can pack and clean up quickly enough, I'll do a mini room tour to close out this video. But thanks everyone for watching. Stay tuned on Twitch. I will be returning to live streaming in the near future. And don't forget to use coupon code Norway if you want to get merch. We still have the promotion going, probably for at least another week after this video is posted. So thanks again, and I'll see you guys in a future video that won't be a recap. So stay tuned. This is gonna be the Krugerro room tour. Welcome to my room. It's more of an apartment than any sort of hotel room. We have a really nice sofa area, and oh, look at that view. We also have this thing, which I probably didn't use as much as I should have. But yeah, let's take a look at this view. So beautiful waking up to so much natural light. Actually, natural light from all directions. A full kitchen area just over here. Apologies for the mess on the table, but this is where I was streaming with the window behind me. I did have the tripod set up here. And we do have a nice kitchen with some electric kettle for the tea.